Apologies for the slight delay, ladies and gents. We do have everyone on the server now. Touch wood, it all stays the same. It is FaZe against North. Finally, I know the two teams. It took me a little while on Twitter earlier, but I got there eventually, Jason.
Yeah, you did struggle a bit, didn't you? It's all right.
That's my life.
Yeah, just
all
full
right?
of struggles.
Just on that struggle bus all the way home. But we're almost there, and it's almost going to be time for cash to start.
You know who's on the struggle bus right now?
Talk me through it, who?
Is North. The quality of opponents that they're going to have to play if they want to get through this group stage is pretty brutal. And I know that's been a bit of frustration in their camp. They were talking to us about it earlier on the way into the venue. Do you think this is fair? And it's like, well, it doesn't matter if it's fair necessarily. You just gotta do it, right?
Like Astralis haven't exactly had the easy route either. They're out to face what, SK later?
Yeah.
And it's like they've basically faced their two biggest rivals, I guess you could argue at the moment, in theory, as well as they just faced off against FaZe as well. You know, these are grand final games almost. This could be again maybe a semi-final anywhere at any event, but right now it is in the group stage. It's tough for North. There's no disputing that. But you wouldn't have said their game against Optic should have gone that far either.
Right. Yeah, certainly. I mean, that was a bit of a surprise, actually. Just because, especially, I mean, not to take anything away from Optic, but just kind of the whole situation they have with still not having a fifth, using their coach as a stand-in. Yep. So, I mean, obviously that situation. But the big thing, this is another interesting map, because much like the Cobble match last night that FaZe played against Astralis, it's not a map they're necessarily known for. We saw them in Kiev. Nico mentioned it in the interview, want to get revenge for Kiev. This was a map that they went into StarLadder FaZe having practiced it, having wanted to be a map that they could add into their pool, but they didn't look solid on it. It looked very much like trial by fire. Like all the things they practiced, not all of it was necessarily working to any great degree. They really struggled to win some matches on it. So this isn't exactly a map that I feel like they're going to be super dominant on, much like that Cobble. But I mean, it's the same kind of story for North. It's just kind of going to be dicey in both camps.
It is, but you look at the raw firepower still on FaZe. I find it always hard to see past that. Even though this may not be a perfectly comfortable map, they can always just kind of fall back and depend on, you know, a previous FaZe style almost. You know what I mean? They've got so many AWPers here. They've got Nico, just super explosive. Rain, when he has those clutch moments. Everyone on that team has that capability. Yeah,
but I still don't think this FaZe team has been figured out quite yet, which almost makes, you know, their second place at Katowice, their win at StarLadder, all that more impressive. Is that I still feel like something hasn't quite clicked for this team to get to, like, I feel like they still have another level to get to. I still think, like, Rain is still a little bit more quiet than I would like. They're very, very fortunate at the moment to have Keo, who's been playing stellar lately, and also Alu has been phenomenal.
Are they doing the Henry G pistol round?
Oh, this could be. I mean, it didn't work out for MIP very well lately.
It doesn't normally work out for Henry either. Yeah. But it is the good old-fashioned smoke out towards truck, play out through Squeaky, and it's not gone perfectly. AZ finding Keo so swiftly was a little bit of a downturn, but they do have the site. This is FaZe, of course, and the bomb will be going in any second now. Rain going to be the one to find any sort of placement at the moment. 2 kills for him, already seen him behind him. Karrigan watching the back flank, really rather diligent considering MSL is going to try and play to this. Karrigan doesn't have any armor, but it doesn't seem to matter either. He's handled it very well. And now Rain, we kind of mentioned him at the start, he's found 3 kills this round.
Yeah, that's, certainly maybe hearing me call him out. But certainly a good pistol round, even despite AZ just getting that very quick one-tap kill. That's huge, but also, I mean, just a standard playing retake onto the B bomb site, we see that very frequently. It's just FaZe gets too many kills before the retake can really come in. That means that MSL has to pick up his pace on the flank. He can't take it as slow as he would have liked, which makes him very exposed to Karrigan. So it just all kind of falls apart there.
And considering the UMP meta that's kind of plaguing the CSGO community, this is a very rifle-centric buy coming out from FaZe. 3 rifles coming in, and 2 of the UMPs. Keo and Karrigan going to be sat on those 2, but it's Nico taking all the fights in mid. He's trying to stay safe from the higher angle, which he's now playing into.
Well, you can also see here in mid, these fights that are being taken is also why there's so many AK-47s, because on top of the UMP meta, at the current point, we also have a Deagle meta kind of coming into play. A lot of teams now, where we didn't see it just so recently, this many Deagles being purchased, they're guns that can stay away from the UMPs, that can utilize the range very well, so you need to have some AK-47s to take those long-range duels if need be. And we saw one win out the fight in mid, and now just it's going to be FaZe just encroaching onto this B bomb site. But diligent in the Molotov usage, making sure they clear out the back boxes, and Rain just sideswiping config.
Yeah, and Rain, when he's on, he's a scary player, but AZ's doing serious damage. Look at Keo, Nico, and Rain. They're down to just single digits at this point, so that P250 on Magis could do some damage, but his angle isn't phenomenal here. Alu took a little bit on the way down, but I don't know if AZ is going to find anything. No, a little bit of a shame considering how much damage was dealt, but 5 stay alive for FaZe, no matter what the HP may be. And they've got a beautiful start into this matchup.
Yeah, this is very good, obviously, and keeping L5 alive, that's massive. So pretty decent investment for North, but actually, I mean, not really buying armor with some of those deagles, and I think actually Magisk was the only one who had armor and P250, so if you look at the money at the North side going into the third round, it's not going to be that typical light on utility that we see of CT sides. They're going to have plenty of nades to work with. They're probably going to have some kits. This time they're going to go for a gamble stack over at the A bomb site. Similar setup to what we saw at FaZe last round. Nico's far enough back that he's going to be able to spot this aggression. And just pre-firing that corner, Magisk walks right into it. Now coming outdoor, he's going to be able to turn around and take long-range duels, but he's getting encroached from both sides. He's got to be careful. He's about to go down. There it is. And the bombs here, they're fighting this as well, so a little bit dicey, a little bit dangerous. But the superior arsenal helps them win out in the end.
They do lose one of the rifles, but I guess they could maybe drop out an AWP if they fancy it early enough, because look at what North has purchased. You mentioned earlier this buy coming in now wasn't going to be light, and yeah, that is definitely not light at all. 2 AWPs coming in.
I mean, obviously that was more than likely a planned buy into this round, so that's why they're not picking up all the armor. The double op setup right off the back. We've seen this. We saw this on Combo yesterday as well. We said Config opping more on Inferno. Even Nico taking the op just because he has the better spawn. This is pretty fast-paced from FaZe. They already have control of A main. They're already pretty close if they want to execute.
Yeah, and kind of a stack towards quad side. 2 players here, which is, I think, so Magisk and AZ both playing here. Neither of the AWPs actually playing dedicated towards A. One in middle, I can imagine, the other at B. So a bit of a heavier lean towards middle and A, leaving B pretty much all in the hands of Config. And at the moment, that's perfectly fine. FaZe still tendering towards A. First smoke comes in to hinder the approach. Nice little late smoke, going to buy a bit of time here. Might give FaZe some control of, getting to the other side of main uncontested, but still, this is good stuff so far from North.
Yeah, where do they go from here? The ops haven't been pressured quite yet. Now we might see a little bit of a duel. Alu is boosted up. Actually, 2 players going to be boosted up. It gives Cajun B an opportunity. MSL right beneath him. Opening kill on Magisk. That's an A main. Here come the utility usage. And yeah, this combination between MSL and Cajun could be deadly.
Yeah, we're going to see if Cajun takes the first real bit of contact here. He spots it out maybe, or does something to try and keep the attention away from MSL, who's rain checks back into it. It looked like he checked just out of the sake of doing it, but then just kind of corrected into it. Now North is split between the sides. They have no people playing between. You have no one in middle, no one really watching much towards highway. Magisk holding an off angle that is very fine, to say the least.
That is a dirty off angle if they start making their way up. There's the peak. Nice flick over from Alu. Really good movement of the mouse. AZ still in the bomb site, though. He gets one. Keo, meanwhile, has dropped one of the ops, and he's going to keep pressuring. That's not a good miss, though. They needed that, and AZ stands strong in the A bomb site. 3 kills for him, and they salvage the double op setup.
That first shot from Alu, it makes him look like he can hit anything and anyone, and then you miss the follow-up, which is such a shame. That could have all gone differently, but yeah, a bit of a late in the game turnaround. It was AZ pretty much being the bastion on the site. They're keeping that one pretty much all together, and they've got the double up back out to play. And considering how hefty this purchase is going to be, they need to keep players alive and keep that economy nice and strong on North.
Pretty much the same exact setup. This time there's going to be a little bit more aggression to A main. AZ and Magisk pop flashing in. They've gotten control. They see no one here as well. Nico might be able to hear this. He's over towards the doorway room on the passageway there.
And to be fair, it's not too surprising to see Nico a little further away from the others as well. He does like to play this one out. You know that Nico often is over by that door and the rest of just pretty much anywhere else.
This is kind of interesting, though, because it's very possible that Kerrigan's calling just a heavy play towards this B bomb site because they know the double op setups were out and because they know they more than likely salvage them. If they firebomb this site and they have smokes in the choke points, this double op setup is going to be so weakened.
It's going to be Config. We've got to see what he can do. He's a new addition as an AWPer, but certainly talented. I think he might have seen Keo possibly crossing towards checkers. Now he's unsure of what's safe and what's not, and he's going to have to try and play out of this one. MSL has come around and helped out already. There goes Rain. It's 3 players creeping towards the site, but a lovely shot coming out from Config. Maybe a possible other victim, but Halu, the unorthodox shots he hits, and he's going to see the barrel of the gun there, Config, but blinded off the angle, tries to find another. It's Keo to next 4. This guy's claiming victims left and right. Halu did creep forward, though, and Config completely unawares.
Not a whole lot of pressure on the side. There's Alu with the peek. He misses the shot, though. That allows AZ to re-peek it. 1 on 3. Nico's in the bomb site. He just wants AZ to peek this. Just wants to see that pixel. Looking for 1 kill that will allow him to get the bomb down. Not going to tap it either. And actually, this is North. They're just going to start the retake now. They've gained ground because of it. Magisk nails the shot. Second round for North. The plant's going to help FaZe out if they want to buy into the next round. But I think they might just be a little bit too low.
Yeah, we'll see if the couple of deagles come through. We'll see what money they are able to scrape together on this.
Config had so much time in that B bomb site between shots, times to dodge the Molotovs, time to grab the angles. There wasn't enough aggression. Part of that is MSL getting 1 kill in mid and being able to pressure on the flank from vents just kind of slows everything down from FaZe. They know if they pressure it too much, MSL is going to have a lot of ground to work with. So it's kind of pick your poison there, and Config is just able to do too much damage. So it is a buy-up from the FaZe side. 4 AK-47s, 1 deagle on Keo. Utility is going to make options for FaZe a little bit limited, and the double up setup so far for North looking very, very good.
Look, we've seen a lot of teams depending on the double up to provide a lot of their victories. Fnatic is one of them at the moment. We've seen that whenever they get into trouble, that double up instantly comes out. But still, that aside right now, FaZe looking for a quicker mid take here. But there is a player in vents, and they are causing trouble already. MSL again being a real nuisance here, plays in KGB perfectly as well. Attention drawn elsewhere as now he can be dominant through Highway. And it's a 5v3. Keo, Rain, and Alu left kind of, I guess, scrapping their way back into this. They've still got 1 minute and 20 seconds to play with so much time, but losing so many people early on. And Cajun missing a bit of a strange shot there. Goes right back out wide on that and just, again, gets done in by Rain.
You also don't need to go for that repeat. That's a bit too much, in my opinion, from Cajun B. After he misses that initial shot, you have a 2-man advantage. Don't give the opening, because now Rain's got a great line of sight into the bomb site. He's got an AK-47 as well, so it's AZ who's got to be careful. He's only got the M4. This is going to force some rotations. Keo's going to come all the way back around to A. Alu's close to the door, and Rain in middle. He can be a huge distraction as well.
Ooh. Both of them playing down Highway, though. They've kind of left A. Thought solid. Maybe they're getting a feeling. Maybe they've got an idea of what's happening. But now the call's going to be made, and Rain finding 2 is massive. That turns this one around and leaves it almost impossible. Hello, Alu.
That's dirty.
You hit that, do you? Okay. And now it's a 2v1. Config's a mile away. He's been playing over at B, but yeah, North getting pretty much run around in that round.
This is the thing, though. That's why that mistake from Cajun B, that's why I think that play, that repeat is so bad, is just because it gives up the entirety of mid control. Rain has so much space. Now, great call. It makes some phenomenal shots to win the 2-man duel, but leaves so much on Config here as he throws the Molotovs out, trying to flush players into the open. Smoke's going to come out. Keo there with the peek. One more in the sight. Is he going to clear that corner? He does find... Oh, no! He can do this, and he is going to do it! That's huge, and FaZe with a misplay of their own. Config had no business in that.
How do you manage that? Config! What are you doing? That's nutty! Oh, what an absolute play going out there from him. And there's the Alu shot again.
Yeah,
can you miss it? But it was all about that end.
Yeah, I don't understand. Keo just being too fancy with nades, perhaps.
Maybe.
Don't know why he needed to peek after that. I mean, just a weird, awkward situation to be in, and Config comes up massive.
That's just not a situation you want to see win.
It's depressing as well, because this does seem like it's going to be one of those games where Rain is just going off. Like, the effort that he put in that round, you don't want to let that go to waste.
No, you absolutely don't. Double flashing towards main and the aggression to follow. But, of course, Nico with that deagle never seems to let us down. It never seems to let down FaZe either. So Carrigan now quickly up Highway has found so much room to operate against a full buy here. This is a little bit worrying to see North just struggling this much.
Fast pace, picked up the speed there. FaZe Clan did. The Tech 9 coming up Highway was beautiful. MSL forced in front of the Molotov. He's going to find one more. 3-on-3. This is still winnable for North.
Certainly is. They've got utility aplenty as well. They can divide this site however they want to. Rain, Aloe, and Carrigan trying to stand their way. This time they want to hold on to it. This time they don't want to let this round slip, even though they're against greater odds. And Cajun B this time comes out swinging. It's a 1v1. Aloe's only got a P250. He does have time on his side, and he's playing Ring of Roses. Cajun B's trying to chase him down, and Aloe can't escape. It's Cajun B.
No kit.
No kit, and they didn't pick up the kit on the way around. No, that's gutting. He's got to get out of there. He should be able to at least stay alive with the AWP, but that is a very small bit of silver lining when you lose that round.
Yeah, he didn't have the money for a kit. It comes back to that last round where FaZe has just put so much pressure in terms of the number of kills they're getting. That one round that was a 5-on-3 turning into a 1-on-2 that Config wins just depletes the economy. Cajun, no money for the kit. So FaZe get away with one there. Fast-paced rush with the pistols is going to win things out, and that was one of the big points they wanted to bring up before that. Is one of the things FaZe is going to have to manage is there's a lot of aggression from North in these rounds, pushing into A main quickly with 2 players. They want that early information. They want that early control to kind of figure out how they want to play the map out from there.
You're playing a scary game doing that against FaZe as well. There's so much individual ability that you're just trying to overdo or outdo. And we've seen it go right and go wrong, so it's a fine line to tread for North, and they're already going to be operating at a 1-man deficit here, Cajun B being down. Maybe just not quite feeling the game yet, still maybe a little bit cold into the server, but at the point we're at now, MSL trying to make up for the odds. Going to go for a little bit of an aggressive play through mid, but Kerrigan's playing in useless from holding this angle. That is such a read from him.
It's frustrating as well, just the knowledge, the patience that MSL trying to push into that, and Kerrigan's watching that exact crack in the smoke. Magisk has the AWP, that's in mid. He's got to make a gamble. He's got to make a decision on where to go because he has no info. This is going to be a 4-1 setup from FaZe late on in this round. Nico alone in A main. The other 4 players outside of the B bomb site. So it'll be interesting to see if Nico's going to be the one that starts the action or just kind of finishes it off.
And Magisk has the AWP here between these two. All right, this is a different look again, but yeah, he's not going to get much done. Maybe they wouldn't expect config here. No, they don't, but he gives away the game a little early, and Rain controls the situation before it spirals out of control.
A team ace. That's what you want to see as well. Man advantage, and you just group up. Yeah, this is the round you could see. He gets a couple nice kills.
And there's a kit just off to the right by Electric Box. Oh.
Yeah, but in that moment, as
you're not thinking
of that at all, are you?
No. It's a bit of a shame. You see it so close by. But it is what it is, and Alu just about buying enough time. But yeah, this has put North all the way back to the Stone Age here. No upgrades, no purchases at all.
Which is deadly considering how good that double op setup was and how much they wanted it. I mean, the save in the second round to get that double op. Now they pick up the speed, and actually Keo, has called it out towards B that they've pushed mid. That's why you see Alu watching the flank. Rain there as well with him. Ooh, Alu eats a bullet to the face, and they're locked in. North has made the rotations. They're already at the A bomb site. This is going to be a little bit tough.
Yeah, if you're FaZe, you don't expect them here this quickly. That was so quick. But still, FaZe do have everything in their favor. And Rain, oh, he's putting on a bit of a class here, but at the end of the day, it should have always been a 1 round for FaZe there. They literally had everything, and North had literally 0. So at least the purchase will come out this time. Not going to afford the double ops, though.
Not even a single AWP on the side of North. Oof. And again, no kits. We've seen both of those things critical in this matchup so far. FaZe doubling up on North's score, 6-3. And you imagine this would be a little bit slow-paced from FaZe. Let some of this utility worn out. You have to know that they're going to be a little bit low on economy. Oh, here's the push, though, from MSL. FaZe isn't ready for it, but good trades. 2 for 2 across the board. They're still caging in the site, though. This is a little bit of a bait.
Yeah, you put out 2 and you leave 1 there, so they kind of quicken their pace towards side, not expecting the addition, but Cage and B just gets outdone. Rain just checking on it as well, just working his way through towards default, and there he is, standing out right in the open. Cajun is not having a big game here yet.
No, he hasn't really got into it. A couple nice op kills, and that's about it. And even AZ is going to be forced back. Now this has got to be a save. No kits, no utility. That kill might influence him to go for it. But I don't think so. Nico, this is a huge kill. If AZ can get that, it might switch it on, but no. Magisk has basically just got to fall away.
He does get an AWP. I don't think anyone's chasing in that direction, so yeah, he's got away with an AWP. Not too bad, not too shabby. But you're still wanting rounds on the board, and you felt that trade earlier on could have set that up really well. I just don't know why. It feels unfortunate for Cage and B. A lot of the timing seems just not on his side, but
I don't know.
Caught unawares.
I don't know if there was a communication going on, but I thought he would have heard the footsteps of Rain as he was running around that side. It looked like that was something that he would be able to definitely be able to check. You know, that's a pretty common position.
Yeah, a little bit strange. Well, Magisk is an AWPer.
He's got to be this round.
Other people have armor.
Yeah,
drop.
He could drop it over.
There's 2 other AWPers there.
There seems to be an AWPing identity crisis on this team at the moment.
He identifies as an AWPer right now, and you can't question that.
AWP fluid.
Right. Nico AWPing on the other side. Why not? You know what? Why can't everyone can be an AWPer? And so far, Magisk is actually the one to get the kill. I don't know.
Listen, not everyone can be an AWPer. I am prime example of that. Well, either way, this is actually not a bad situation, all things to be considered for North. They've got an opening kill. Cajun's going to keep pushing that flashbang from Kerrigan, though. That's perfect. Nice shots from AZ, ranged with the P250. Unfortunate he can't salvage anything, and Magisk, I mean, they're going to want to keep someone anchored into that B bomb site. So it is all going to be on AZ, and he's brought down too low to really stop any kind of progression into the A site. So another round for FaZe, and it's a little scary. It feels like they're really starting to pile it on in this game.
Yeah, it felt quite close at the start. There's a couple of these rounds that were actually quite close, but it started to spiral, scoreline-wise as well. It's starting to look a little bit better for FaZe. These rounds, they've been quite almost a brawl. They haven't been necessarily the most beautifully strategic at times. They have been a little bit forceful in how they want to go about it, but if it works, it works. It's putting rounds on the board for FaZe here.
It's really not too complicated from FaZe either. They're just focusing on the fact that they have the amount of individual skill, the trades that they have. They're staying pretty grouped up. I mean, both teams in the rounds they've won have done a pretty good job of finding some opening kills. So, I mean, they're putting themselves in 5-on-4s, and at that point, it's just use the number advantage that you have. Magus has been found out, but he gets the kill onto Rain, and this kind of signals everyone to chase it down. It's awkward from Nico. Flashbang out. Magus has just got to hide. This is a lot of pressure being put on him. How much is Nico going to chase all the way? And Magus gets that kill onto Nico right at the end. Keeps the op.
Thank you, replay man.
Tactical pause coming out from North.
Could have done the replay then, couldn't you? I kid, I'm joking. I love you, production crew. Oh god, I've started to mess with production crews. That's a very poor idea, isn't it?
It is. You're gonna get hot mics later
yep.
this event.
The hot mics are coming, boys.
Clean.
Yep. Oh no, it's all over. But yeah, at the moment, North needs an idea of what to do here. You know, it's all good and well to depend on a double AWP when you have the money to.
They're gonna have it again this round. You would imagine. Magisk has 6,300 and he saved the AWP, so he'll be able to drop one over to whoever. So I mean, you imagine with the amount of priority they put on it, and the only success they've had is with double op, that they're gonna go back to it here.
I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about people being so dependent these days on the double op. It feels to be such a common trend these days now, at least coming through, that there's very few teams who can't run it. And I don't mind it being there at all, but it does give you that very fragile balance between we have what we want or we have nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly does. And this is a team as well that has the skill to not need to do a double op. But at the moment, it seems to be pretty preferred. We saw it a lot on Kabul. Here's a pop flash for Cajun to take a peek. Pop flash for Kerrigan as well. And Cajun's going to find that opening kill onto Rain.
I miss you, Russian Pat. Heather. Cajun adjusting towards the site now. Now, you know, it feels like a long time since we've seen North have the early advantage. It always feels that they've either kind of been traded into, or you know, it's never been quite favourable, and then the lull. There's never been that like, okay, we've actually got that one-man advantage. Let's just chill it out now. Ali's gonna look to try and even a little bit of the odds here.
They've really North has really turtled up into these bomb sites. 3 players over towards A, 2 players in B. MSL's starting to get a bit of aggression. He's pushed out so they can at least get some information. Config as well can have a deep angle, but there's no mid control. So if there is something coming out mid, if FaZe decides to split this B bomb, so that's when it could be dicey. You could see they're trying to find out what's coming. The pop flashes through the smoke. They want some kind of information. There's some. Kerrigan finds MSL.
Yeah, MSL was almost meant to be the early warning system to allow the play to come in from Config, but now it's going to force AZ to have to come over here now and be a little bit worried about B, which was never meant to be maybe the intention from FaZe, because that's not where the bomb was particularly. But then again, they weren't really anywhere on the map either. They were kind of stuck. But they've worked out that, well, no one's in mid, and Alu's worked his way up towards highway. So he's been getting great deals of information here. Keo not too far behind. Magisk having to deal with that from that forklift side, and a bit of a pinch could come through. But Cajun B should have his back in the tag. It's just enough to set up the frag for Magisk, but that crossfire still needs to hold here. And look at the time.
Yeah, there's really no time left. Actually, North can just run away now. Cajun's still alive in the bomb site. He's won this out. He is going to fall, but without any plant, it's an easy win for North. They get their 4th. But again, I mean, just goes right back to it. This is the story we're going to cling to this game, is the double op setup. They can't get a second op out this round.
No, they cannot. So Config's keeping it over Cajun B.
Yeah, we saw that on Inferno as well. That's where this whole kind of question.
It's curious, isn't it?
Yeah, this is where everything began.
I'm not questioning it really. Config's been wonderful at it. It's just it's a new change. It's a new look for North, and I'm not doubting it. It must be a little bit of a nice switch up for them as well. So into this one, 4-8 still. FaZe have a great deal of utility behind them this round as well. They've got so much to play with, but Config looking for the early play, and he actually does get the tag towards Kerrigan, backs away nicely, doesn't outstay his welcome, and gives up the ground, but nice early damage.
Yeah, Kerrigan's going to have to play a little bit more passive. We saw him being pretty aggressive, taking fights, taking duels. He got that kill onto MSL to equalize things at a 4-on-4, but he can't be that aggressive with only 20 HP. It's turning into crisscross smokes in mid. The wall of smokes to block off Cajun B's AWP. Keo's got MSL to deal with in vents, but that Molotov is going to slow things down. So the timing of this might be a little bit screwed up.
I guess the problem is that MSL can still see that. Is he boosted into vents? I think he is. So even with those double smokes, yeah, he can see that no one's actually pushed this, so it's okay. Plays a little passive now for the back of it. It means that AZ can be not so worried about mid, kind of focus back in towards the site a little bit more. Magisk as well focused towards it. He's still worried about middle though, but with Nico taking down Magisk, he has to focus towards the site itself. 2 players now on this. Rain gonna be planting, but Nico's playing babysitter, but no! AZ, great timing on the play there. Gonna find Nico and put Rain down to just 4 HP.
Yeah, and Rain's got to go for this fight. He's waiting for Keo to be able to trade it off, and there it is. Nice from Keo, but he gets the TK. That's unfortunate. Still a 3-on-2. They've got to stop Cajun B, though. No one's really peeking this as well. It's a desperate situation. Cajun and MSL on 3.
Oh, you look one way and Alu just pins you to the ground. It's going to be MSL trying to play back into this. And that's the first step in the right direction, but digging these two players out is going to be tough. He's got a good idea of where they might be, but that may not be enough. And it isn't. Keo delivers the final bullet to the brain, and a little bit of recovery almost, but not quite.
And that's it. That's once again the economy broken. Just a complete reset. They win one and they lose next. But at this point, at this stage in the game, at this stage in the half, the North cannot afford to save. They have to get more rounds on the board. They're not satisfied with just 4. That's why you're seeing the Scout with no armor on AZ. That's why you're seeing the UMP and 3 pistols out. FaZe with a great chance to have a dominating first half. And Rain, excuse me, is going to spot 2 dropping into checkers. 1 comes out. He should still know MSL's in there. Nades ringing in. Here's another Molotov. Yeah, they know exactly where he is, and MSL's not getting out of this alive. That's so much utility used. Oh, the smoke, though. Smoke keeps him alive for just 1 more moment.
It's actually really hard to play out of this, though. Look at the position you've got. Cajun B up in the vents. You've got 1 by the back box there. I think that's MSL. 1 on the side. They're kind of surrounded. Alu's trying to fight their way back out of this. Give them some options, but so many smokes up, so many positions they can't account for, but they are just finding the kills. Keo claiming MSL is big.
Yeah, pretty dicey. As soon as Alu gets that kill on the flank, though, it opens up an option for him. From there, it's a little bit easier. Now they've alleviated the pressure. Now we're going to see this defensive stack. North had them surrounded, but it's got to spread out now. Config and Magis staying in the B bomb site. The Scout over towards A. And FaZe has just slowed everything down.
Guess they have limited information, so working your way back towards A, every corner might contain a threat, so they're checking everything. They have to be meticulous about this. They can still fall back to B if they fancy it. It's not out of the question, but they've got to consider it soon. You've got 40 seconds left, and you've got a lot of corners to check and a lot of threats on the board, even though the North are only on pistols and a Scout.
They're doing a very good job of keeping the numbers while also keeping an eye on any aggression the North would be doing here. And even sending, Kerrigan's going pretty much alone first. He's going to spot a Scout here. He's tagged up down to 19. And that's actually going to prompt FaZe back into the stack.
Yeah, they're going right back into B. There's still 2 players here as well. 1 on the side, 1 up above now. Nico's burst in, but what a shot. Just adjusts in time. Now Magis having to only use a CC, and that might be enough. 2 big kills. It's a 2v2, but his teammate falls. And there's Alu with only 8 seconds left, but enough time. Yeah,
not a bad idea from Magis as well to force the fight there with the time running down. Only 8 seconds when he falls at the end. So he gets that kill, and the round's essentially over. 10-4, and it's going to be another pretty weak buy at a North. It's got to be UMP on MSL, pistols for the rest of them. FaZe have done a great job of just manipulating numbers advantages in most of these rounds. Hasn't been too fancy. They have left the bomb in T-spawn at the moment, though.
It's all planned.
Right. Designed.
Exactly.
The old Renegades tactic.
That's the one. Cajun B up on the boost. I wonder if Kerrigan's going to take a little bit of a pass. Look, he does. He just don't get away with anything right now. FaZe are keeping tabs on pretty much the whole board. Alu just kind of surprised that someone walked past, but he was there fine, no worries. And it feels like a bit of a flat half here, a bit hit and miss. North never felt like they were going, really. It felt very on and off for them. A couple of strung together rounds, but that was about it. FaZe stand dominant with 11 rounds in their pocket, looking at the next half just after the break. A commanding first half for FaZe here, sitting with 11 rounds beside them and merely 4 with North. They went for a little bit of an all-in there. They wanted the double orbs, they played to it, and they faced the consequences of it too. Yeah,
well, I mean, it's very telling why they wanted to go for it so much. The 4 rounds they won all had the double op setup, and then as soon as it was taken away from them, as soon as FaZe was able to grind the economy down, no more wins after that. They needed the 2 ops. Just not going to get it. Pretty good performance out of the FaZe side as well. Pretty spread out. Kerrigan with 15, Rain with 15, Nico with 12, Alu with 13. That's not bad. I mean, this is one of those games. Rain dominated the early portion, but it seemed just, I mean, after that, it was just very good team effort. I mean, they staying very clumped, focusing on trades.
Yeah, no, I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed watching Rain at the start. He's a player that feels like when he performs, you can't help but notice it.
Yeah.
And it makes big differences to the way they look as well, just overall. He's such a good player in that sort of aspect. But still, yeah, as said, at this point, it's kind of past just one player doing well. It's pretty much everyone. Kyo's doing his job. It's a little quiet, but you know, it's not the crazy sort of Kyo that you can occasionally see just rear its head, but it's good enough to fill the role. So it's just such a commanding scoreline.
I always feel like Kyo's biggest strengths are his ability to anchor bomb sites on the CT side. That's when you really notice him having a dominating game. He's a player that FaZe has been able to put a lot of trust in to hold down bomb sites. So maybe see him get a little bit louder on this CT side, but I mean, this just kind of highlights the struggles of North at the moment. Not only do they feel their CT sides are a little bit weak, but also Cash is a map that, you know, they've expressed a disliking. Pop flash out mid. Kerrigan gets shot in the side of the head. Here's Rain staying strong in mid, but he is Goosh. He's got to fall a little bit back, but pretty even trade, all things considered. And that's MSL from door. No one able to watch that. Kyo's got to fall away. There's one on top of yellow. He's got to try and survive. 2 players at white truck.
You're playing retake with no kits now on FaZe. They've lost the site, but Nico is still standing. And let's not ever write him out of any situation, especially with a pistol in hand. It may not be the Deagle, but it could be close at this point now. 1 towards quad, 1 on site, 1 towards main. Playing back into this, Alu goes to forklift. Big real estate to be gathered there. Such a little linchpin to play out from. Now Nico can work his way towards the site. Tries to find the fight on AZ, but a little slow on the trigger, and Config will find Alu. It's left Kyo all alone in the 1v3. He's going to find 1, though. And AZ's pretty low on HP, but timing is of the essence. And he's got to make it fast, and he knows it now. He rushes in, but he can't make it happen quick enough.
And nice kills from AZ with only 6 HP, just hiding in that plant spot. Nowhere to go from there, really. FaZe almost able to make that work. Yeah. Pretty nice. Config made a smart decision. It looked like he was going to try and creep around for a flank through mid, but realizing his teammate AZ was low, that he just didn't have the time to do it. He needed to be there to support. It helps out massively for the north side of things. So winning the pistol is going to help him out a little bit moving forward.
Yeah, just a little. You know, always helps. Every little helps. AZ, first in, and Kerrigan to the right, 1 to the left. Kerrigan just doesn't want to fight him. He was alright without that. He went for KGB instead.
3 on 3 though, this is not great. And actually, AZ almost gets caught out. There's Config. The AK comes in just in time to help out. 3 on 2. The bomb isn't in the bomb site though. Kyo's here with the Deagle, and Nico has his as well. They've got 1 flashbang to get him into the bomb site. There's a smoke down for the cross, and the bomb is just now making its way under the covering fire of his teammates.
Alright, Nico. When your average is excellent, let's see what you can bring in this one. You've got 2 possible players to kill. I wouldn't say easily, but possibly. You've got AZ low and Config low, but now you're alone.
Nice pre-fire from Config as he makes his way, just to be cautious. And yeah, danger's not entirely gone, but they're not giving Nico anything to work with. He's got to be the aggressive one. He's got to search him out, and there's an off angle from Config. Nice round from him. 3 kills. Really helps get them out of that situation. 6-11.
Yeah, you know what? North, their T-sides are pretty strong, so I'm hoping we get to see a lot of it coming into this half. I'm hoping so, at least. They're always quite creative, seem very well planned, very well orchestrated, something that they kind of became a little bit known for during the, I guess, Dignitas era for a while. That they were, you know, one of those teams that, you know, really theory-crafted their ideas. So still having some sort of throwbacks to that in mind. I hope we get a bit more of that coming up in this one. But this round shouldn't be a threat, but there's always some possibility of something going awry, but for now it's KGB keeping control of it quite nicely through mid. There were 4 players there. Nico still found Magisk, but that might be all they get. KGB actually gets dinked down as well.
Yeah, that's no fun. Smoke goes down and actually dodges the bullets as he jumps across. So 1 AK is salvaged. That's on Alu, and he's in mid behind the smoke with Nico. They're getting flanked from behind. It would be great if they could find any sort of kills whatsoever. It would be nice at the moment. MSL's about to spot out Nico in the open. They're not prepared for that. They were going for the boost. MSL doesn't realize it quite yet. Alu, here's an off angle, but the aim punch is just too difficult to handle. 7th round for North. They make their way through the danger of the FaZe force buys.
And they are dangerous, let's be honest. We know the FaZe do love them, and for a reason too. They are a dangerous, dangerous bunch of people. But the interesting rounds now begin for me. I love these rounds as we get to see what FaZe can do on that CT side, and North finally have everything they want as well. You've got the AWP coming in on Cajun B. No AWPs yet out, as, you know, for FaZe, none on Alu, none on anyone else. But maybe a bit of aggression, maybe a little bit of a look somewhere else.
We've got one kid on Kerrigan. They all started this round with smokes as well, so all things considered, they had some options available to them, and at the moment it's just kind of going to be run down the timer. Smokes up at B, smoke in mid, smoke in A as well. So stopping any kind of fast play. 3 players for North over towards the A bomb site, and Config's going to find an easy kill on Kerrigan, not expecting that whatsoever.
No, sliding in through that smoke, completely catching him off guard, but Alu going down as well, caught in that corner, is just far from ideal, as now B is so vulnerable, and the rest of the pinch is still looking towards A for this T side.
I think this is the big difference we'll see in the T side of North versus FaZe, is Config is going to be very, very aggressive, very confident in that B bomb site. While we saw Kerrigan play it a little bit more passively until the mid-round, Config is going to switch things up. We'll see aggression like that consistently. You also see him play it a little bit slower, but he's not afraid to kind of play with those smokes and take the fight. And look at what he's gained now for his team. This is a one-man army at the moment, 3 kills for him, and the rest of North is just following up on his example.
You might as well. He's basically secured as much as he can without taking a bit of a ridiculous risk. And we've seen some very important players being able to dominate that B site solo. You look at Get Right, who's good at it as well. You know, when he has those hot days, that he can destroy anyone going to B. It doesn't matter how many players you put there. But at this moment, Config's putting on a nice show for us. But yeah, Nico and Rain, you have no play to this.
Yeah, they've got nothing. They've just got to. I mean, the nice thing for FaZe is if they choose to. I mean, this is Nico. Yenko talked a little bit about this. AZ's going to get the nice kill. Is the amount of times that, you know, at Kiev on this map specifically, we saw a couple times FaZe always having their opponent at that kind of reset level. So they were always force buying behind some rifles they save, and that's kind of a trap that FaZe can fall in. If they save 2 rifles, if you get 3 deagles out on guys like Nico and Keo, I mean, it's still dangerous, still able to win those rounds, obviously. So that's a little bit of a trap they can fall into, and especially on the CT side, it can be devastating if you never find your win.
Yeah. And historically, looking at these two head-to-head, there's been only 3 occasions, if I'm not mistaken, that North have ever been able to beat FaZe in any iteration of their lineups. And 2 of those wins were on cash, and they've suffered 8 losses. So stat-wise, you know, North have good footing on this. If you want to just kind of throw back to that, whether it actually makes much of an impact into this specific game, it may be completely irrelevant, but the odds sit pretty nicely in their hands. Now, Kerrigan, considering his options here, pushed up towards middle. And we all know who's watching it. Cajun B just off towards that useless room, just keeping eyes across. And if he does make that journey around the corner, he might just be out of luck.
Very cautious round coming out from North. Spread out on the default, and Config should be able to find Rain if he continues this push. But you can see, change of pace. Cajun as well, watching a push. This has been going on for about 30 seconds now, so FaZe perhaps feeling a little bit antsy. They don't know exactly what's coming. And Cajun just watching that. Oh, Kerrigan finds the perfect time for it as well. Just now moves. He's got MSL to deal with, and there it is. Just as Cajun B takes his eyes away, that's when it starts. Rain almost gets 1 kill. That could have made things dangerous, but now it's North who's feeling very, very suffocated, claustrophobic even, as the enemies come in around them.
Yeah, this is now getting a little bit of a problem. Alu's found 1 too. Kerrigan's got himself a gun. And Config in Magic Galore. What is going on? Nico's just walked in the door! And Kerrigan even finds Config in the end. This is ridiculous. As you said, suffocated, strangled, smothered. Use all the words you want.
I couldn't even think of the first one.
But you got there eventually. I love the way you just stuttered through it. Never give up, Jason. And speaking of never giving up, FaZe that round. The timing on Kerrigan at the start, alright, that's just dirty, but beyond that, it was impressive as hell.
Yeah, no, that was really, really good. Obviously, a little bit of luck with that timing, but that's the huge kill. They had nowhere to fall back to after that. Risky, though. Kerrigan's going to be, oh my lord, so aggressive, but he realizes the flash is going to wear off before he can really get a good shot. That was dicey for both teams. Alu set up here behind the smokes with the AWP, and North wanted to make a huge play towards this B bomb site. All 5 players were there. They all back off now.
Alu's kind of pinned into this, unless he can somehow smoke his way out safely. There's a bit of a gap on that as well. Molly goes in. Alu is kind of screwed here. Now he's going to find some sort of respite, but he's not been able to fully back away from this, and it's just making it uncomfortable because North still have everything they need pretty much. Sure, Config expanded or expelled his amount of utility, but the rest still sit perfectly pretty. Now, what else can he do with it, though?
I mean, it also forced some rotation, so there's no eyes on mid for FaZe right now. I mean, no one even from the A bomb side looking at it. It's really limiting the defense they can set up over there, and Rain and Nico are just playing off angles towards A. There's a good pick from Alu on Config. That's kind of going to be a signal. Config is the B player, so they know they've kind of wiped him out. That can alleviate some of the pressure. But Nico and Rain, because there's no mid presence, neither of them are playing inside this A bomb site. So if this execute does come in, it's going to be a good split, and the defense is going to be a little awkward.
Ooh, I hope it's the double smokes, the Astralis-style deep smokes that they did for a long time that go slightly further down towards Truck, which allows you to play up highway a little bit cleaner. I'm not sure if it is, but we'll find out pretty soon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. Lovely. It allows players like Magic to be able to work their way up with safety to a degree, and you can play in towards the play coming out from Connector. Beautifully done. But it's still a 3v3, and there's still players on the side. Rain finds an angle, finding 2 big kills. That's turned it back around again favorably towards FaZe. Molly goes in, not quite towards the site. Oof, but Kerrigan's just straight there. Through main, comes around, gets the job done.
I think the Molly actually misses, but it does prevent anyone from getting into cover inside the bomb site, so Kerrigan's flank is huge. Big double kill from Rain, that's what they needed, but also you can see just how awkward that defense is when there's no concept of what's coming from mid. That's why this map can be so dangerous. It's so difficult to manage your knowledge in mid if you don't have control of it, obviously.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, this is nice. Well, and also, because of the smokes, they probably don't expect anyone to really be shooting at them from that angle. So that's why you see Cajun B not coming in immediately knowing where the trade kill it needs to come in from.
But Rain's so good at finding those, like, really weird angles to play from. If you looked at Nuke when he used to be able to sit on top of that little yellow pillar that used to be outside.
Yeah.
And just be able to see just enough to be able to take people. He'll just find these little angles that are really, really annoying, especially on any smoke sort of plays. But still.
This is the important buy for North, because they're out of money, essentially. If they don't win this, they're going to be forced onto pistols, and this boost is coming in. I don't believe they made noise, so AZ's close enough to hear it. So is MSL and Door, but they're going to get it off without a hitch.
I don't know if AZ's backed to a position. I don't know if they heard maybe someone backing off from that. That's what I'm curious about. If they were able to get, I think, Rain out of there without making noise, because they're kind of being very hyper aware of this. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it looks like AZ's peeking it. Yeah, I think they heard him backing away from the boost. But Nico's sat right in that corner, so it's going to be hard for AZ to play to this. KGB clearing up that top left side as well towards the rafter or the upper balcony. Bit of spray coming out from MSL. And here we go. Nico's still effective at this point. Finds one and backs away from it. Beautiful follow-up from Rain as well. Sprays in towards the door, but will they expect the push through right towards the side? Did someone just run out from A main and go in towards Squeaky?
Yeah, just nope, I'm out of there. Molotov missed from Magis as well. That was meant to flush out Nico, but it isn't going to work. But he gets the 2 kills anyways. So they go for the aggressive peek in a 5-on-3. There's no one here to really back this up. Alu's at car. He's blinded. Now he's smoked off. This is a very big possibility, but Config has to somehow win this battle. 12 HP, that would have been huge. Can't manage it, though.
There's been a lot of fluffed utility over here, and oh my god, this is just a horrible round. So much utility being put down as well towards the site. Cajun B, you know, out of the molly into the flash and then just stuck on the site. Magis is just all very much alone on 12 HP.
I would love to see Magis' 2 kills just because it seemed like there was no need for those peaks to come in, but they do anyways, and actually he can't get out. He's going to have no money. No, they're not going to check it. They don't clear that angle. They thought he fell all the way back. And yeah, here it is. There's the missed Molotov. And it's just a double peek. Just a double peek.
Yep. Fair enough.
I mean, you probably trade that kill out more often than not.
Yeah, especially with those two players. Yeah, your odds don't sit so bad, but still. Interesting way to see unravel. It's 14-8 still. Now, North's money is not good. They've got Tech 9s, they've got a couple of rifles. Well, a rifle, should I say, and a UMP. Bit of utility as well. A couple of mollies there. This could be a bit of a set piece coming out. This could be another A hit if they actually put the mollies into the right place, that is, bearing in mind. On the other side, still a good buy for FaZe.
Tenth round, you can see North playing it so slow. Good find from Magis. He's brought down to 6. Look at the duelists they have on this North team. I mean, we always talk about Magis and Config. Each one at different bomb sites here on the T side can be so dangerous. But Rain has been phenomenal this match, and he's got to do it again here. Just bails out of the bomb site. They're going to trace him down, and actually it's a Tech 9 at that range that drops Rain. He was a little bit afraid to be aggressive, and this might be a safe call if they can't find any kills pretty soon.
so hard to play back into this. Even though they are on Tech 9s, it is going to be tricky to make this one work. They have limited amounts to play back in. This is the molly that goes directly to the site. If you actually put it down, he doesn't. Goes the one down towards Fork. Oh my god, what is going on?
God bless. That's a necessary Molotov as well. You want to clear out Forklift. There's the UMP. Kerrigan trades it off. Alu can't really be too aggressive, though, and Matt just coming around for the flank. He's silent. Nice trigger discipline, not firing at Kerrigan, not giving it up, and MSL finds him. Now Alu's just got to run. Try and take away a gun, perhaps, but he's blocked in here. Magisk is going to wrap around him and try and get this kill, and he might just do it. I don't think Alu's going to be suspecting it whatsoever. He's not. Knife out. Easy kill. And even an op they can salvage, possibly? Yes, they do.
Yeah, and we've seen so many missed mollies.
It has been pretty sloppy in that regard, hasn't it?
It's not just from one side. Both teams have done it. It's just amazing to see that many of them going astray. But yeah, 9-14 now. We do have the pause coming in. Now, I'm going to make an assumption. Who would that be? FaZe, probably?
Yes, it is FaZe.
Okay. FaZe calling it out.
We have to remember as well, this run from FaZe where they just won the previous 3 before losing that one, I mean, that all started on a round where they had pistols. CZs, they didn't have any rifles in that round. So North has had a very, very good T side, all things considered. Aside from that hiccup, it's just, you know, with the big lead that FaZe had, you don't have many of those hiccups you can really afford.
Yeah, and the thing is, I guess the point was brought up that sometimes North almost overly adapt to things they don't necessarily have to. There's an occasion where things do still work, then they kind of switch. They keep pushing the envelope a little bit too far, and they kind of get, you know, a little bit further ahead of their own game plan. But for now, they are still in a good spot. But it's mostly due to money. It's the rounds that are sitting against them that are the problem, and these rounds are always scary against someone like FaZe, especially now Karen's got a gun, and he's going to put it to good use. Kyo's there to support, and they might just realize this pretty darn soon. Kyo's depending on that reload and praying that air conditioning unit holds up, and it does! That's the bomb! And he gets himself a rifle and gets a tag. He's going to get out of here too. This is a disaster for North. It's all falling apart, and you've got a flank down from Alu. What is that timing? Kyo, put your knife away and get your gun out, buddy, as you just lost that round.
Yeah, I was going to say, if that knife doesn't come out, I don't know if that was maybe a mistake of the quick switch or what, but
or just habit, I don't
he
know.
had teammates to support him as well so if he's fighting that, they get that kill. Everything was brilliant up to that point as well.
What have you done, Kyo?
No, the problem. He's back.
It's back. Close round, though. Again, it shouldn't have been a close round, but FaZe's money's still not great at the moment, so they're just going to be keeping on these sort of buys to a lightish degree. Now, North need to be a little bit aware now, need to be a little bit more aware, let's put it that way, and just hope the Kyo keeps doing that sort of thing. Kerrigan's going through middle again.
The crazy thing, that previous round was one of the first real fast-paced rounds we saw out of North, and it almost went completely to hell. Very fortunate to get away with a win in it, so I think from now on, MSL is just going to breathe deep and just do these slow-paced defaults.
You're not so into it anymore after that. It's like, now let's grab that.
Wasn't necessarily a good idea.
No. Gets a little scary at that point, but outside that, North, yeah, as you said, quite slow and cautious, and I don't really blame him after they almost lost that one. MSL working his way through Squeaky, only a little bit of a back and forth there.
Kerrigan's having a very good game. He's the player who pushed and died earlier in this round. He's 23 and 15. Nice performance from him on the other side of things. It's pretty well-rounded from North. AZ at 18, MSL at 17, Magis at 16, the other two players at 14, so no one really lighting it up and extending beyond their teammates. Everyone playing within themselves here. Just going to be the first to enter into the bomb site. There's a nice dink. Alu gets that kill, but it's traded off immediately. And the bomb site is theirs, and those should be easy shots for Config. And FaZe actually going for a very quick retake, just going to do the damage. A couple kills go their way, but no real danger for FaZe to win this round.
No. There are two players who are low, so there's vulnerability here, but they should always have Cage and B as the kind of backbone to this to keep it together and not allow it to get too far away. Bombs ticking as well, of course. The round win seems impossible for FaZe here, maybe just making it a little costly, being a bit of a nuisance, and no. Can't even achieve that at this point. MSL shutting the book on this round. FaZe still sitting on 14, of course. There's still a good lead for them. But it's been ground back. You know, North aren't letting this one slip.
Well, and here's the switch-up that FaZe talked about in the tactical timeout. Double op setup. We were wondering if we're going to see that out of them. It's late in the half to be doing it. Nico and Alu. It's pretty... I like the switch-up, though, because of the style that North is running, this slow-paced default. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to find picks, especially considering they just scared North away from doing anything fast-paced. You know they're going to be a little bit more hesitant. Alu's got his AWP over towards B bomb site in checkers. That's going to be doing against Config. And Nico has his at the A site, looking in towards A main.
Yeah, they've gone for the 1-3-1 pretty much on the CT side, and I like it. It puts a lot of faith in your AWPers, but You've got very capable AWPers. Alu's got to be careful, though, because Config's been pretty switched on for the last couple of rounds. He's been punishing any mistakes here. We do see a little bit of a pull-up from middle towards Highway.
It's a very mid-centric defense as well from FaZe Clan with Nico and Rain both playing at the top of Highway. So they want to make sure they can rotate back. Kerrigan's close to mid, Keo's at the sandbag. So plenty of presence in that middle portion of the map. If a hit does come in, they'll be prepared. Nico now transitioning closer to the bomb site.
Yeah, we're going to see how viable these AWPs are once the actual site hit begins, or if they get picked up prior, of course. Cajun B, first man through so far. Having a little look. Missed Rain being put towards the side there, but Nico's found himself through the door. That's gutting. And KGB doesn't hit the shot either. Nico's now got the angle. He's a little locked onto the side, but it's not the worst thing ever. And the bomb's actually not with North at the moment, so they need to back away and grab that. While they do try and get some presence towards mid, Magic just doesn't win out the fight against Kyo, who's going to contain the threat that was building. And again, FaZe are holding this one down as long as Alu can just somehow maybe get a couple of kills here.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be an A-hit. Everyone rotated up there. Now they're getting the intel. It's all on Alu. Oh, and that timing. He looks away at the last second. He's got to hit this first shot, and he does. Consistent as ever, holding strong behind these boxes. Span coming through, but he finds it anyways. AZ can't get into the site, and it's a shutdown from FaZe. The double op setup works beautifully. 3 kills between the two of them.
Such great work from Alu there. He knew that he was going to be the kind of backbone of this, and had to buy the time, had to keep alive, couldn't take any sort of risks of trying to make any bigger play happen, but he played it so well on that sort of very fine line. So, good job, and again, the double up retains for FaZe. A buy up here for North, and it might be their last go at this if they don't get it right. It's 11-15.
Looks like a B-rush.
You know what? When all else fails, rush B.
I mean, with 2 ops and they saw the 1-3-1 setup, yeah, no, it's not a bad idea at all, but actually Kerrigan's here in vents. This could ruin everything.
Such quick positioning to these sort of spots, and they don't check on it instantly, but Kerrigan just kind of overwhelmed, sensors overloaded, but there you go, finally North breaks into the site. Alu gets completely negated as they do hit it well. Bombs now planted, 4 alive, a 3-man retake is not going to be easy, but Keo finding a wallbang towards Config is a very easy pickup for them, almost for free.
It's a nice find, but it's Magisk who's right underneath the vent. That's what's going to be a trouble as well. Cajun B's there to trade the kill out if anything happens. He's really on a swivel right now, helping both teammates out. Big support from him. Rain hasn't made his move just yet, though.
Cajun B holding strong. He's trying to keep 2 angles safe here, and he's going to have to depend on Magisk to do this, and he does. Magisk steps up to the task, and now it's Keo and Nico, and their options have run out. They're out of time, and they're out of possibilities. Very well done from North. A big gamble to do that B hit, but it works out well in the end.
Yeah, I like that as well from FaZe. I mean, just call the save. You needed Rain to get control checkers if you wanted to have any kind of leg to stand on in that retake, and they just couldn't get it. Too many positions for Rain to check. 15-12, and Op and an AK-47 on the FaZe side of things. I think they have... I mean, the money's not great, obviously, but I think they could afford to kind of buy into this round if they wanted to buy around these 2 weapons. Maybe do some kind of a half buy with 3 rounds to play with left in this match.
They do love to get on those pistols with a little bit of armor, don't they?
I mean, why not?
Why
not at all?
They love it anyway, and then this actually has some real viability to it, and it's worked. It's gonna be tough, to be fair though. Even though Kerrigan has had great success just running through mid, running through the opponents, you've got to feel that North has to be switched on to this. But again, they can't just do these kind of all-in hits, can they?
Well, there was that was a good example of Yanko talked about North being one of the teams that he thinks is the best at changing the pace, right? And that's MSL saying, all right, if they're going to run a double op setup and they did a 1-3-1 style, 1 at A, 1 at B, then we just hit the B bomb site. That's where it's hard to rotate into. I think Kerrigan, I mean, it's hard to be too critical of the play he decided to make there, but coming all the way out of vent might have been a bit of a mistake. Nico, obviously, with one of the AWPs that they saved, getting a bit aggressive, trying to find an early pick for him.
You're playing a dangerous game, but at this point you kind of need to. You're looking for any opportunity, and again, takes so much damage through the molly and the follow-up shot or 2 that might have hit from Config there, but he does make it out with 10 HP, but still not much.
You almost would like to see Nico drop that op over to Alu. Trade out the op for the CZ. More HP to work with. Oh, nice push. Timing. Not even a flashbang. MSL just not prepared. The in-game leader as well might have been looking over at someone else's monitor, might have been checking the mini-map as well. Maybe a little bit distracted, but not prepared for the aggression either way. Nico in mid behind this smoke. When will it clear? When will it allow him to get into the action?
They're slowly creeping highway as we speak. Cajun B edging towards it. Rain is there on the other side, and now he's been alerted. He does have the rifle too, so let's keep that in mind. He can stop this.
Alu's pushed all the way out B. Has so much information. That's why you're not seeing any rotations towards the B bomb site. Question for Alu becomes, they're going to come behind him as well, and he's found out. AZ's looking exactly for that play. A little bit unfortunate, but that kind of gives North the indication that this B bomb site is open. Kio's here, but he can't win that fight.
Just didn't expect Magic to be there that quickly, it seems, and now they're going to have to be playing behind almost. Bit of a fluff smoke there, hit off the wall a touch too early, but I don't know if it's left a gap or anything to work with. I don't think it has. And Cajun B begins to tighten the noose. Rain is watching for it, and he gets a clean kill. Bomb now down.
I think this has got to be a save call.
It should be,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised they hung around this long. They've lost out on the AWP now. It could be recovered by Rain, but still, it would be nice to keep 2 alive.
Yeah, because if they had the M4 in the next round, they could have actually dropped some over if they had an M4 and an AWP, and they could have had a rifle buy in the next round. That's not going to happen this time. Be interesting to see what they choose, how they plan to spend their money moving forward. Rain's going to keep it alive for the moment. He's got AZ coming behind him and not prepared for it whatsoever.
A little sloppy trying to back away from that. Nico getting caught a little bit, sticking around quite some time, but yeah. Bit of a shame to see it go down this way, as it does seem like, wow, okay, config.
I mean, that's twice now
What
we've
can
seen
you
him
do?
pre-fire that specific spot from different locations in the B-bomb site. Timeout's going to come in from North. They want to talk things over. 13-15 as they've made a huge comeback in this second half.
Oh, this has been huge for North, and we did say there was a possibility, and we kind of outlined, I think everyone does, that North's strengths are a lot of the times are their T sides. They are so much more robust than their CT side. Maybe why they're looking at that double AWP to become like the backbone of what they can fall back on to give them a little bit more on that CT side, just overall as a team. But they have so much ability when it comes to this T side. You're seeing FaZe being put through their paces here.
A lot of that has been, the fact that config has been huge over towards that B bomb site. It's such a benefit to not only have someone that's so dangerous, but someone who can, just stay alive over there as well. Even adding on kills on top of it. So FaZe is going to save up for the last round. They do invest in some deagles, but with a losing bonus, they'll have all the rifles they need in the next one. Config with the pop flash, just shooting into the air, hoping someone's going to stay peeking around the angle to eat the flash.
No one falling for his little tricks. But yeah, this could be very much OT. MSL. And Twitch chat waits tentatively to write VAC. Sweaty fingers waiting on that V key. Do it! MSL, this will be fun if he opens that door. Here we go. KGB's found Keo and... Oh, didn't work out too well.
I hate to see that. Well, here's Nico with the deagle. He's the next one up. He's got an AWP and he knows that, so he wants to take this fight with MSL. Tagged him a little bit through the edge of the wall, but Cajun was looking for that. Now Nico can get into the bomb site. I don't think there's too much of a chance, as actually Cajun drops Rain, who's behind, and Nico just cannot find a fight that he's comfortable with this deagle. He's going to fall eventually.
And the door being opened on that side from Carrigan opening it kind of works so well. Alu still found 2 there, but doesn't make much difference to the way the round goes out in the end. Now, this is where it gets a little, sweaty palm time. It's 14-15. We could go going OT or FaZe win it now.
This is quite nice as well, because the way FaZe has bought down the stretch with some of the weapons that they've been able to save, the economy doesn't have too big of a factor. I mean, yeah, they're missing a couple kits, a couple maybe HE grenades here and there, but overall, everyone's got everything they need. Op on Alu's side of things. Double op setup, not as much of a benefit to FaZe as it was to North in their respective CT sides. Again, the default spread out from North, not wanting to give anything up, not wanting to risk it with a fast-paced play.
No, very, very slow, cautious, quite methodical at this point. Alu going to put down the deeper smoke. Might allow a little bit more of a play from Carrigan if he fancies it. He is not. It's just shutting off config from being able to see anything. He has no information. If by more time, if they do want to play towards his B side, they'd have to check so many additional angles. You can see config just working through them, pre-firing through that smoke. But actually, let's remind ourselves as well, Alu has already backed away. He's over in middle now. And yeah, this is really running the clock down. I think we've seen a boost coming out as well, quite possibly. I wonder if that's going to maybe affect how this round plays out, and it will. Looking at this already, the smoke's into play. Alu's trying to find a peek there, just have the information come through to him more than anything. And Keo is still stuck by those sandbags.
Yeah, Rain's going to come down highway as well, but he's going to be pretty isolated because Keo can't really see anything. Trying to peer over the top of the smoke. Magisk is going to be the first one. Oh, what a spin. What a shot. It looked like Rain had it. He's had such a fantastic game so far. Can't find that kill, though. And they still know Keo's inside the smoke, isolated there. Oh, and then what a timing. AZ comes down, pulls the nade out. Blunders on both sides, but Keo still got work to do. Meanwhile, rotation has come in from FaZe towards the B bomb site, but Nico's all alone today.
He spots out the bomb though. Molly's out to the right, but he knows he's got pressure coming in from every single angle, but support almost arrived. But no, Alu goes down, and now he's overwhelmed. This looks like the comeback of the century from North. This is a beautifully played out game, and Config shuts it down. And he had a brilliant T-side.
Yeah, just what he's able to exert over towards that B bomb site applies so much pressure to defenses. Nicely done from him. And yeah, they bring it all the way back from 4-11 into overtime. And they had, what, it was 15-12, I believe, is when they had to win 3 straight?
Yeah, I think so. Don't ask me to remember these things. Why are you like this? But no, this has turned into a bit of a corker of a game. But now going into OT, I guess at least some benefit for North is they can afford that AWP, the double AWP. That's hard to say.
It's not.
All right, yeah, let's go back to your fumbling earlier. What was it? Method.
The S's are hard for me, you know that. Yeah, that is going to be an option for him. The dangerous part is in overtime, obviously. If you're going for those double op setups, it's going to be the same sort of economic disarray if you lose those. It's even worse so because the third round of overtime, you're just going to be on pistols, and you never want to be in that scenario in overtime. So we'll be interested to see what North decides to do when they do switch over to their CT side. But for now, it's all about FaZe because, I mean, even towards the end of that, there were a couple of rounds where they had everything they could have wanted. It wasn't like they were losing their CT sides because of an economic disadvantage. North was just besting them in these rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looked like FaZe tried to come up with ideas. They had bits of aggression here and there. Maybe not to the same degree North tried to run, but it was definitely there to a degree. You know, Carrigan just running straight through middle a couple of times, but it just never seemed to work out. Well, I think we got to wait on a couple of the North players to sit back down. I don't know if they've just gone for a bathroom break, but hopefully they'll be back in their places nice and quickly to get this one started up. But yeah, overall, looking at the ADR, is this just for this game? Because that looks a little low for Config.
Should be just this game.
But yeah, I think it is. I thought he had more kills than that, but it's more the impact he was having. I guess his ADR is still pretty high. It
certainly
as
felt
well.
Like most kills. Yeah. I mean, he had that clutch as well in the first half, so the impact is just massive. You know, the triple kill to open up the entire round on that T side as well. But yeah, great damage even despite only having 19 kills. But you can see, I mean, both teams are pretty evenly distributed in terms of their kills. No one really slacking behind. No one really lighting up the scoreboard. Yeah. Good stuff from both teams, considering their options in overtime as we are restarting, as we are going live.
Yeah, going into OT now. Everyone's back in the chairs, and it is time to play the game. North continue on their T side. FaZe on the CT side, who struggled really to kind of handle this one through.
This is the 4th overtime that North will be playing in this tournament so far.
Oh
Optic
God,
was 3rd, I think.
Yeah,
they've played like almost an extra match at this point.
They just want to warm up. You know, they're just very dedicated, all right? Able to spray through mid, does have a light connection towards Keo, but not too much. Nothing to write home about at this point. And we'll see how this one goes out. Singular AWP on Alec.
Bit of a switch up as well. Alu's been using that AWP either in that mid connector or over towards the B bomb site. Now they put Keo and Vents. Kerrigan's the one that's going to anchor the B site. And Nico just doesn't care anymore.
And I guess we did discuss they didn't have as much aggression as we saw coming out from the North side. That's some real aggression coming through there. And there's the flashes trying to allow Nico out. Smart little try and way to escape, but AZ wasn't phased by it at all.
Yeah, quite nice. Nico with the aggression in doorway, but just had nowhere to go from there. Nice job by North to lock him in. This is a tough position for Rain. Exposed from the door as well. It's important to note also, and maybe this is something that FaZe has caught onto. MSL has been caught off guard a couple times in that doorway now. AZ going to be the first one out. Rain is spotted, though. He's got to fall back. He's got to get in better cover. AZ's just playing with him, keeping him in the open, and there eventually he falls. Too much pressure. Alu's rotating over with the AWP, but this is not the ideal weapon you want, and he gets into the fight with the other op as well.
Christ, Alu is going aggressive. Look at this guy. He's straight up in their faces, and it's worked! He's taken down Config on the side, but it is still only 2 alive for FaZe. Yeah,
no one would expect that kind of a play from the Opera. The boost up as well, though. Magisk gets one more onto his tally. They don't care. Gets close to the side. A double spray down. He's turned it into a one-on-one. Cajun has to re-attack this bomb site with an AWP. And there it is. He has the angle, and he finds it. Kerrigan couldn't pull it out for him, and you could see in the picture Magisk getting so tense in that one-on-one.
I think we all did. how did it come down to that? It just felt like that was all North, and then suddenly Karrigan's pulling out these double kills. He's done this a couple of times as well, from just the least expected plays, and yeah, Ali was brave as you like going in for this one, but yeah. Anyway, first one on the board for North now in OT.
Config had to be so tilted with 2 teammates in quad. The other kind of pressure this puts on FaZe as well is losing a round. The opening round is the CT side. If you lose this, you have no money for that third. That's when it gets into nightmare, even with only 1 AWP per round. So a lot of pressure, perhaps 3 rounds riding on this round coming up right now. This default is still eluding FaZe in any kind of... I mean, they haven't really been the aggressors, where we saw North really liking to pop flash and get aggressive in A main. FaZe have not done the same thing on their CT sides. Switch up in positioning from Alu is going to be tested here. When does the peek come in from Cajun?
Yeah, who looks away first? Well, there's an answer. Alu flashed off the angle as well, to a degree. KGB hasn't fully played out for me yet, but Nico again. That's
3 times now in the closing portions of regulation and now overtime twice in OT that MSL's been caught out in door. He's got to be feeling frustrated.
Wonder if that mounts to anything. Oh, KGB, I don't know if he saw Kyo too clearly, but he saw enough to take the shot, and Magisk even pulls the trigger as well towards Alu. This is looking very good for North thus far. Rain and Nico pretty much cut off completely. The bomb's going to go towards B, and it's going to be down to Karrigan again to try and deliver something almost inhuman at this point. Molly starts to come in, flash to the left, looks to the right, he spotted the players out, he knows one's close, he's going to punish Magisk for trying to go alone, and now he's got another 1v1! How is he pulling this off? Even finding 2 kills here has made this possible again.
Yeah, it's massive, especially with the big flank coming in. That's from Rain. He's coming all the way around, and Nico just has to be patient. Have some faith in your teammate to find this kill. Cajun, though, he feels the timing, but he's not able to do it. He's not too confident in it. Now Nico up top. AZ's got to do it all, and he can't even find that kill, fighting in the flames. Karrigan with a huge hold. 2 kills and buying time.
That was so well done. I can't give him credit enough for this. The last round almost went their way because he was able to somehow find a couple of kills, and then he's done it here again. This is, you know, superhuman levels of play. If he found any more, that would have been ridiculous, and just sets it up well to be even, you know, closed out in the end. This is it. Able to isolate the other players, wait for the push-up, spots it out, and even tagged up AZ a fair amount too.
Yeah, you almost got to feel like that third was almost in his grasp.
Yeah, it was so close, and it does give them enough money as well to buy back into this as well. They're back in a position where they can get some money into their hands. And oh, why are you like this, Rain?
Yeah, you don't like that.
Don't look at Nico now and swing the knife around. Calm it down. Learn your lesson. Double up on the T side, though.
Why not? Config obviously feeling
he's like, he needs to help MSL now. He's like, I'm here for you. It's safe now. He's found a safe space.
Thunder Buddy. Yeah, Cajun, I mean, maybe going to prop open that door. There's the Molotov.
And Cajun B now dies to it. Why did you make me do this, MSL? This
Here's
is
the
awful.
aggression finally, though, from FaZe coming in. The pop flash in. Rain is the one leading the way, finds AZ. This is a huge advantage now. Magisk even zoned out also. MSL feels like he's got to find it, but you don't want to mess with that at the moment. So many FaZe players here at this A bomb site. A brilliant call from them.
Yeah, so well done. And it was kind of a little bit of an off timing as well to it. It wasn't like that early A main push. It was just after that back of that first kill towards Cajun.
It also hasn't been done in the entirety of their regulation CTF, really. I mean, just one player pushing in towards door, but not so much A main. So, I mean, now just catching North completely off guard, maybe feeling a little bit comfortable that it wasn't going to happen.
Never rest on your laurels, and Karrigan again. Oh, lovely angle. Plays well to the shadow there too. Almost went a little early on it, but Alu does see the barrel of Config's gun. So, waits on the timing, doesn't quite get it done, but now I'm going to try and play through this one. Already overwhelmed though. Config only finding 1, and that's not good enough in this situation. And Magisk just can't do enough. FaZe close out the half with an advantage, and that, as may it not seem like much, was pretty tough for them in regular time.
Yeah, both teams dominant on their T sides as well in this. Yeah, that knife.
Thank you for the replay.
Yeah, not coming into that. It's the important one of that.
Just a little poke to the back.
But yeah, I mean, this is going to be nice for FaZe, obviously. Op is going to be in Alu's hands, and here's the question. Do they go for this double op? Seems like they're considering it at the moment. Config hasn't purchased anything. Cajun already has his, and yeah, they do go for it. Shouldn't really be a surprise. The only 4 rounds they won in regulation on the CT side came from a double op setup.
Yeah, and FaZe were explosive on this T side too. It might be somewhat of the same. We'll see what they go for here. Config going to have the AWP over at B. Again, not too surprising. And Magisk a little off on this, and what a punish from Nico comes out. They clean the first and then just expand on the follow-ups. It's perfect, and this could be a bit of a seal of the deal. Alu through the smoke as well. This is a real disaster.
That's not bad at all from FaZe. I mean, they've really kind of adjusted to the fact of so much pushing into A main from north. Just waiting for it that round. Now Config all alone. And this could be the punish. If you're FaZe, you're sending all the bodies over towards this bomb site. You're taking this op away from Config no matter what it costs you. There's one death. Flashbang still raining in. Another one's going to come out. Config's going to hide from that.
It's like a little Zerg rush just appearing on his screen any second now. 3 players to the left, 1 towards useless room. Good luck, Config.
Yeah, they have so many Molotovs and flashbangs as well. Who cares if he's stuck in that corner? There it is. The crouch slide. It's beautiful stuff. FaZe got 2 more map points.
Yeah, and they looked good on their T side, let's be honest here. And this, I guess, is Nico's perspective.
Yeah.
And yeah, just played in. He was already sitting anti-flash anyway, kind of maybe expecting the aggression towards main, and it just paid off so well.
A lot of faith in Alu as well to hit that first shot. If Alu doesn't hit it, Nico likely dies staring into the wall. So, good stuff.
Yeah, you got to have faith in Alu. He does seem to deliver on quite a regular basis.
No AWPs on the board for North. That's not the winning recipe that we've seen from on the CT side of Cash so far.
No, I don't know if they've been able to come up with maybe a solution to what was hindering them during the regular time, but we'll find out any second now. Magisk again, very aggressive towards A main, going to molly deep, flash himself out and try and make a play. He's doing this all on his own, bearing in mind everyone else pretty much isn't here, so he's showing a lot of presence for one man.
Kio's already out mid. He's got to be careful. There's 3 players here. Cajun coming through the smoke wall, MSL peeking out of the vents, so MSL down to 19 HP, but it secured them mid. Kerrigan's up for the challenge next, but is he going to be right for that Cajun angle? And Cajun trying to fall back just cannot handle it. He does dink Kerrigan down, but no kill, and Magisk is left alone at A.
Maybe feeling a little lonely at this point, a little worried. You have no safety from highway. No one can spot this for you. And you're going to start hearing steps. You're going to see that door open and pressure mounts. But he's up to the challenge. He's up to the fight. He did only get attacked, but he lost out towards Alu and Kerrigan finding AZ. This could be it. This could be pretty much all she wrote, especially with that. Alu finding MSL has left Config in the 1v4.
So much damage dealt, so many almost kills in this round for North. They battled their way back into overtime, but FaZe overcome it. No wins from North without a double op setup on the CT side. I think that's the big takeaway here, is the reliance on that as their primary mode of defense.
Yeah, and FaZe coming out looking good here as well. North, it looks like OT is the only thing they want to go towards at this point. They did win out the previous one, but this one just that step too far. FaZe showing us a great performance already, so we're going to head back to the analysis desk in just a moment's time so you can be taken through every single moment in that game.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Intel Extreme Masters Sydney. As expected, the European stoush between North and FaZe did indeed deliver. It was an overtime victory for FaZe on the map of Cash, and there, of course, is much to discuss. And to help me with that, of course, I'm here with Chad Sponge Birchall, of course, and Janko YNK Paunovic. Gentlemen.
You practiced that one in the break, did you?
I looked up the pronunciation of it, and I still got it wrong. It's,
Was it close?
It's not that difficult, Chad Birchall.
Oh.
Thank you.
Classic
Guys, double AWPs were a big thing on this map particularly. I mean, you know, we can maybe talk about how that went down in your rise and maybe the significance of, you know, the teams picking up those double AWPs and maybe what the pros and cons were when it did cost some teams.
I think the biggest issue for North was like they were obviously effective when they had the double ops, but when I think it was the 3v1 situation on the A-bomb site with Cajun, and he kind of played ring around the rosy around the red box in sight and didn't have a kit to defuse after he killed the final player, their economy was broken. And from there, you know, you had to buy into rounds because they were starting to get deeper into the half, and they didn't want to just be saving for the double orbs. And then by that point, it's like, well, maybe we need the double orbs, but it's too late to go for that. So I think FaZe did a very good job of restricting the economy of North and forcing them into just sticking to those rifles. But you did see how effective it is to poke and prod around the map with those and even be passive in that B bomb site. I saw Confi getting a couple of good kills from deep in the site.
Which is pretty funny considering how FaZe, specifically for that reason, forced multiple times, like 3 times in a row. They forced bot to try and reset North early on. That didn't work. Eventually, they felt like after the config 1v2, right, that's where they went for those pistols. But I think that actually North thought that they are going to force again, because North in that round actually went for an aggressive push towards A main, and that's something that you really don't want to do if you think your opponents have only pistols. That's where you're going to play for the retake towards the A bomb site. You don't want to get wrecked by those running tech 9s, you know, some simple execute towards A. So maybe a missed call, a bad read in that particular round. Unfortunately, after that, it snowballed. As Chad said, they kind of felt forced to buy without having all the utility at times, and FaZe did a very good job of controlling the rest of the half.
And even on FaZe's CT side, actually towards the end of regulation, they picked up a double AWP, but you know, North managed to bring it back. There was that also that hard B rush when we thought things might have been all over.
That was a good call, yeah. To go B when they know they have the double AWPs up. Once you smoke off that choke point, the AWP has no option. He has to kind of fall back either to a retake position or into the bomb site where he can be isolated and chased down quite easily. So that was a good adjustment by MSL there, and it kind of helped them get to the overtime position where they found themselves. But you saw, you know, the CT aggression that we're talking about, kind of the gamble style came back to bite North, or not to bite them, but you can see where it's negative in the overtime, where they pushed A main, and I forget which player it was, but he got a double kill with the AK. And that's the whole bomb site is open at that point, right? You know, sure, there's somebody there flashing for them, but as soon as you get those frags, that's pretty much door open. You know, you're going to cascade in there and have no issues.
This is basically, it was weird for North to go for this in such a manner, because that's one of the most standard default setups. The Opera is in A main, just holding that angle while a player sneaks in towards the box first to basically just counter that push. So yeah, that gambling play style didn't really work out for them.
Just something I noticed was when they did lose middle, North, they were mainly going for information plays towards the bomb sites as opposed to going back to middle and taking that control. They could have looked to have boosted vent and had some pop flashes going on and tried to take middle back. It is much harder because there's more difficult angles that the Ts could find themselves in where they might not get flashed, but they were mainly just playing for bomb site information, and if they were lucky enough that no one was there, sure, they could play the rotation. But there was one time where I think MSL was pushed up behind the box in B main, and he just checks if anyone was there. No one was there. It was just a player hiding in Sunroom. As he ran away, he got killed in the back, and that was an opening based off an information play, which was just unfortunate timing. But yeah, maybe adjustment to looking for more mid-presence in the future against FaZe might help them.
And just as we wrap up, guys, very quickly, of course, Carrigan having a huge impact in this game for FaZe, Janko.
Yeah, absolutely. Even on that T side, in the pistol round, he had a great flank through highway, had great timing, a lot of high impact kills. On the CT side, also did a lot of work. We saw that round very late towards the B bomb side. So yeah, usually you don't see it that much because Carrigan plays very aggressively for the team. You know, he's going to go somewhere by himself, maybe do a small fake so that the rest of his team can explode onto the other side, and that's why mostly he's just going to die. But when he actually gets a kill or two, in addition to that, it just makes the execute much more powerful.
So a tough run for North, no doubt about it. They started off against Optic, but then had to face SK Gaming and FaZe. Now they fall 1-2, and yes, theoretically, that is one game from elimination, but there's definitely potential to bring themselves back. They've already run through the hardest part of the field. On the other side, though, FaZe are one game away from advancing here, looking in a commanding position. But on the other side of the break, we're going to be sending one team straight to the Kudos Bank Arena on the weekend. Will it be SK Gaming or will it be Astralis? Find out by staying tuned and sticking with us.
Do you want to feel like